So yet again, it's been another murder. Police are not giving too much information on what the situation was, but the situation was that someone else is dead by violence.
What sort of pressure is there to carry a knife or a weapon if you're involved in gang lifestyle, or just if you're a young person living perhaps on an estate in Ilford or Havering, in Barking and Dagenham?
There's huge amounts of pressure to carry weapons to protect yourself, because you have to understand that these young men and these young women are in a war, and the whole aim of the war is to survive. They have enemies that want to take their life and will take their life given opportunity. Carrying a knife is an essential item to have when you're living a life of crime and when you're caught up in street violence and gang violence.
So how do you stop that cycle?
By raising awareness, by education, putting in preventative workshops, so working with the young students in schools from year 4s, year 5s, year 6s around the consequences of being stabbed. So it's dispelling some of the myths and the actual risk of you carrying a knife, it being used on yourself. So we do workshops in schools with an ambulance, with a paramedic, with a police officer, with myself, and we do live demonstrations of how much blood you lose when you're stabbed. So it's really about education, re-educating young people with statistics, with current affairs that are taking place within society. But we try to cover it in more depth, look at who else is affected and what we can do as a community to stop that, what we can do as friends and as families and as peer groups to stop that by taking responsibility.
How do they engage with you when you start having those type of conversations with them?
I don't say anything that they haven't heard before, but the depth that I cover it in and where it's coming from, the place it's coming from, is coming from a place of real experience, of being stabbed myself. By experiencing that, by witnessing that, by coming from that lifestyle and by speaking about it, the young people instantly can relate to what I'm saying.
Do you think that these young people think that society has given up on them?
Yes, because in essence, when you look at society, they have. How have they? By frequent cuts to youth sectors, closing down of youth centres that are there for young people, extortionate rates of education to go to university, difficulty of getting a job with no experience, the lack of opportunities that there are for young people, that says to me that society doesn't care.
If the authorities really want to tackle knife crime, what do they need to be doing?
It starts with leadership, looking at policies and legislations, looking at refunding these communities that we live in, the areas we live in, put more in our communities. Give us more opportunities, more things to do, give us better job prospects.